was here helping us with the tip. And she made the point to the group, and there were probably 50 of us, and some of them were utility people, some of them were elected, some town managers, department heads, water and sewer people, made the point that she thought that it was very useful and good and helpful that the assessors in the Waterville area had worked together on this, and was basically recommending that other areas use the same approach, rather than sitting there all alone in your office trying to come up with the right answer individually, and you know nobody would likely agree arrive at the same thing without some sort of discussion process. So she was giving the assessors as a group praise publicly for that approach.
From what you've said, I'm guessing that the valuation will go down next year unless they put distribution lines in the town because of depreciation?
Well, don't guess that. I mean, if you can guess that, then you may be right, but I'd sooner think not. There's a little more depreciation. I think it was like 1.5% depreciation in the first year, so there may be another 1.5% depreciation next year, but by the same token, hopefully they'll be gassed up and serving more customers, so there might be more product in the line. One of the things that this Marshall and Swift recognized was an empty pipe is worth less than a full pipe. We also know that they'll be extending the distribution system to various degrees that will add value. So since April 1, they've put more stuff on the ground in Oakland. I mean, up there by your business on Old Waterville, they've come back and added some fence, and I guess they put some more value into Oakland. And so it's hard to say that the number will go down. I'd sooner think, and then if our mill rate changes, they'll have to reflect that too. But I wouldn't bet which way it's going to go. What I'm trying to say is there's things that will probably move it both ways.
And I guess my question more so is, and I'm sure you wouldn't have that now, but something that might be interesting to go back to this group that did it. What is the change of a full line versus an empty line? If that's all we have different, how much different would it be worth? It's 6 million, whatever, empty. When it becomes full, how does that formula change the value? So, you know, if at some point, if you're at a session where you can throw that out to somebody, because I'm guessing Oakland's not going to have a great deal of additional pipe in the ground this year. So the only difference would be that a couple of the small places where they've tweaked things, but the big thing would be the fact that it's now full of gas, and what value added does that provide, if we can find that out.
Try to find that out. That's all I had tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bowman.
Request of the council. My wife sort of shamed me into watching one of our previous council meetings so I could show her how to get in, and we were talking about how you get the word out about things. And we had a lot of difficulty hearing in general. It shows the back of our heads, it shows Peter well, but when Peter was talking, she said, I can't hear a thing he's saying. So I guess I would just ask, you know, listen to it, and if it's something, you know, I've always had the thought, if we're going to do it, let's at least make it something that people are going to say if we can get something out of it. And if we can't, then we need to either change it or go back to nothing.
Do you have speakers separate or built into your monitor?
Built in.
I couldn't, when I had mine, I couldn't hear it at all. I bought a set of separate speakers and plugged them in, and I can hear it fine.
And I assume that the computer is just not powerful enough, but I'm guessing that our constituents aren't going to be hooking up sound to their computers so they can hear us. They're just going to turn it off.
Well, some of the monitors got them down in the corner, and they're pretty cheap. They
Well, laptops, you know, you get
Yeah.
very little sound out of
Right.
it, and so many, you know, that's what we used.
But I can hear it fine with separate speakers.
Yeah, I can hear it fine on mine if I turn the volume up to max.
Anything else?
All set?
I'm all set.
I just had a request that we could, before we get to the town, before the course hall, there is a deep hole there, a tire track hole, it's probably about 6 inches deep right in the pavement. Almost between the school and the corner store on the right-hand side, heading towards the corner store.
On Pleasant Street.
It has been reported
Good.
a
Because
number
it's quite a
of
hole,
times.
because I hate to see a motorcycle go down and get in that one, because I think the
Yeah.
town of Augusta's gonna have to, quite a lot to deal with,
Yeah.
so.
Did we decide on, August
No,
meeting?
that was the next thing I had.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask a question.
When are we gonna have the meetings in August, Madam Chairman?
That's up to you, but at the present time, I would recommend that we meet twice on the 13th and the 27th. We've got some business to take up on the 13th, and looks like a regular schedule would be helpful to us if you can do it.
It's all right with me, I just,
Don? Good. I had nothing.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
second it.
All in favor?